Happy Thursday. Let me know if you can hear me. It has been a busy weather day. Good morning, everyone. That is me. If you've been with us the entire time, at least within the last 30 minutes or so, there was our first tornado warning of the day for northern Pinellas. It moved onto the Palm Harbor coastline. And that's what we're going to see today, pretty much, the situation at play here. We have a slight level 2 risk for severe weather. Damaging winds, an isolated tornado or waterspout, and hail are all threats. Pretty much all the threats that we have for severe weather, that is at play for today. We just had our first tornado warning in northern Pinellas County. And the thing is, a lot of times with these lines that move on shore, we get these little waterspouts, and then they move on shore, and they pretty much fall apart and dissipate. The storm's still strong though, but that rotation becomes much weaker and weaker, and we saw that. So we had a really quick, relatively speaking, tornado warning that was in effect. So if you live in the Palm Harbor area, kind of on that part of the Pinellas County coastline, Honeymoon Island, if you have any damage, photos, footage that you can send us, please do so. You can send it directly to Facebook, and this will kind of help figure out, especially with the National Weather Service, we correspond with them to see if, that there was a tornado that touched down, and if there's any type of damages associated with that. That will really help us out. But for now, there's no more warnings, not that I at least know of. Let me check the chat here. Good morning, Lisa. Hi, Mark. Thanks so much for letting me know that you hear me just fine. I did not just exit out of the chat. That is annoying. But yes, that was the only warning, or tornado warning of the day. We had one severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect earlier for the northern part of Citrus County. So we definitely still have the ingredients here present for more storms to become a little rowdier and produce severe capabilities as we get throughout the rest of the day, with this intense line moving through. I'm going to zoom in here once I kind of get everything together, turn off all of these alerts, because there's a lot going on. Let's take you into this line. I'm going to, you see this, a lot of lightning associated with this. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we have at play today. Really intense thunderstorms. And a lot of lightning does, for the most part, indicate that there's at least a little bit of hail within some of these storms. So that's a good indication of that. And we have seen radar indicated hail, not really huge hail, more like pea-sized hail moving on shore. So that can definitely be a threat. If you have your car outside, and if you do have a garage, this will be a great time to bring your cars in so you don't get any denting on any of your vehicles. Of course, we don't want that. And of course, secure those loose items. We have damaging winds as a main threat today. In most of the storms, we've seen gusts up to 50 to 55 miles per hour, but when they're in that severe criteria, gusts could exceed up to 60. And that could definitely blow some things around, all right? So just be mindful of that. Of course, driving through it, that's not a fun situation. We have Miguel Octavio actually doing some weather coverage today, and he was moving into that northern Pinellas area, and it was just visibility's pretty much down because of how much heavy rain that we saw, that we're seeing with these storms. He was just driving through it. It was not a pretty situation. So we can get really heavy rain in a short amount of time with these storms. It's not a severe criteria, but of course that makes for a very dangerous drive out there on the road. So we really want you all to stay inside within the next couple of hours. You can see here on our map, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, where these storms are rolling through at this point. Marion, yes, be safe. Hi, Sherry in Clearwater. You're probably getting a bit of the worst of it at this point, Sherry. I'm going to zoom into the top of this line. We're going to go all around the world here. All right, so the worst of the really strong storms are now moving out of that Pasco County and now moving into Sumter, but still just to the south. Let me zoom in even more. It's so hard to look on here. Brooksville is now improving significantly. Springs Lakes is now improving a bit, but that drive along I-75, along the I-75 corridor, not great at all. So hopefully no one is driving on these roads, especially along I-75. Getting further south here, I'm just going to kind of go around I-75. The St. Joseph area getting in on some really heavy rain. If you're in Darby, I'm sure you're hearing the lightning right now. Same for Pasco, the city of Pasco there. Wesley Chapel, you are up next. So any Wesley Chapel friends, just know that this really intense line of thunderstorms is moving through you, is moving towards you. You might see the winds pick up, or even hear the thunder in the distance from all the lightning. So definitely get inside, get away from the windows as well. Let's see if I have any questions. Nope. Land O'Lakes, you are hearing it. You are really hearing it right now. Oops, this is not what I wanted to do. You zoom out. And we're going to stay on for a while. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be here. I'm getting nice and comfortable with you all. If you have any really detailed questions, just let me know. This is what I'm here for today. We'll get through this together, this severe threat. And if you're just tuning in, we've had 2 severe warm storms today, one in northern Citrus and Levy County, but we did have a tornado warning that moved into northern Pinellas, mainly for just a quick spin up, one of those water spout situations that we see typically all the time here in Florida with these squall lines that move through. They're crossing the Gulf of Mexico, not a lot of friction out there, but as they get closer to land, a little more friction the line is interacting with. So we get those quick spin-ups, rotating winds in the atmosphere. Sometimes those winds make it down to the surface, so that's why we get those water spouts. And of course, if it moves on shore, you get that tornado. So that's why that tornado warning was issued, because we did see some radar indicated rotation there. Oh, we have a spotter report from Oldmar. About 1/7 of an inch, dime-size hail near the intersection of East Lake Road and Ridgemore Boulevard. If you have any damage reports, please let us know. Yeah, definitely in that area, kind of where that tornado warning storm was. We're getting some hail reports, and that's pretty much what we expected to see today, and we're seeing that play out. Let's actually look at the I'm going to look at the hail product here, so really we can really see what's going on. If we have any hail reports, yeah, you see that orange spot right there in the Keystone area? That's an indicator that there was some small hail, more like pea-size hail, moving through within the last 10 to 15 minutes. So along Tarpon Springs Road into Lake Fern, you might have seen some hail with the storms that just moved through. Let me zoom out a little bit, or zoom in, and let's get back to the next rad. So if you're just tuning in, this is a really nasty line of storms moving through. You can see all of that lightning, and that is really indicator of strength here. These storms have a lot of fuel to feed off of, a lot of juice in the atmosphere. That's what we like to refer to as CAPE, especially just right offshore there where you're seeing a lot of the abundant lightning. So that just really kind of shows the intensity of these storms. Nothing right now is warned, I believe. I'm looking at my Apple Watch to see if I got any warnings. Nope. But just really strong storms moving through right now. I think a special weather statement was issued on these storms, but no particular warnings in effect. So, of course, if you have any questions, please just let me know. I'm going to be here for a little bit. Let's zoom into the storms right offshore of the Pinellas County coastline. I'm actually going to pull up a camera as well so we can see what's going on outside. Possibly our St. Pete Beach cam, Bellwether Beach Resort cam, may have some good stuff on there. Well, oof, yeah, look at that. Zooming in. Trying to show you. Yeah, Clearwater, it's definitely getting really loud out there, very rowdy. Indian Rocks Beach, you're up next with some of these stronger storms moving through. It's about to get really loud there. Of course, if you're outdoors, if you have friends, you know they're at the beach, they should be able to see what's going on. Okay, marine warning, which is issued for this particular storm. That makes sense. They should be able to see what's going on, which means that they need to get out and get inside, because just the lightning alone, we've had lightning injuries over the last couple of days. So lightning is nothing to play with. Even if we don't have a warned storm at this time, you see all that lightning. That's just dangerous alone. And lightning is not necessarily a severe criteria, but it's there. When it's there, we have to really be careful. if we have any outdoor activities or if we're outside. So all of Pinellas at this point, you need to be inside your house, inside any type of building, not outside at all, with these storms rolling through. Let's look at the lightning count here. That'll be interesting to see. Let's see how much we're counting just for this little cell. 168 strikes, that's pretty significant. The storm that we saw moving through Citrus County earlier had up to 300 strikes. So a very intense storm moving through. Let's look at the Bellwether Beach Resort camera. Let's see if we see anything out there. And I can't really move it here. So I'm not really seeing much. Let's look at Clearwater Beach. Camera is probably very, yeah, you can't really see much at all. That rain is really coming down over at Clearwater. And they're setting up for that, the Sandcastle Festival. So they have that tent out there. Thankfully, we're not seeing that tent whip around too much, but everything looks to be pretty sturdy. So hopefully nothing over there is getting really messed up. Tampa Cam, let's see what's going on. Not much at this point. It's not even pointing to the direction of the storm. So I wish I could move it, but I can't. Over here. Let's see. Alrighty. Let's zoom out. Again. I keep zooming in when I want to zoom out. All right, northern Hillsborough County. This line is now moving through that corner there. Tampa proper, not seeing much rain at this point, but within the next 30 minutes, it's about to get really gloomy, really loud with that lightning moving through. You can kind of see this bowing out just a little bit. When we see these storms, these leading edges of these storms bowing out, that's a good indicator that's a good indicator that these storms could be producing strong winds. And so looking at that, seeing a bowing out just a little bit here. So these storms that are about to approach the Tampa area is moving through Carrollwood right now. But Lido, the Busch Gardens area within the next 15 minutes, it's about to get really nasty there. So hopefully people are getting inside. Definitely not the best Busch Gardens day. We've been talking about this storm threat for the last 3 to 4 days or so. So hopefully people took that into consideration for their daytime plans. This is just not the best day to be outside or doing any type of outdoor activities. Someone asked about Disney World yesterday, and I was like, have your rain gear, but I wouldn't even think about it. Just not the best day for Disney. Tomorrow's going to be very nice, though. You know, a lot of the times with these storms that roll through, we get some drier air behind it and cooler air as well. This is a pretty strong cold front. So once we get into Friday, it's going to feel pretty good. Still breezy, but we'll see a little more sunshine, a lot more sunshine actually, and temperatures in the 70s. If you've been here for the last few days, you know how muggy and warm it's been. We've had those winds surging out of the south and just bringing in that really moist air that we usually see during the summertime, and those temperatures in the upper 80s. That we had heat indices in the upper 90s in many spots. So very uncomfortable these last few days. We're going to transition into a more comfortable type of pattern just in time for the weekend. So we have a lot of events going on, including Sun and Fun. So it should be nice right there. Chris, it's in holiday right now and is looking pretty good. I'd love to hear that, Chris. Let's see, I'm looking at other comments here, so bear with me. Bear with me. It's East Lake. It's East Lake in the clear now, pretty much. The worst of it is moving out of the East Lake area. And who asked me that? Jasmine. Yeah, let me zoom in here. Let me zoom in. And bear with me, I have a lag on this computer I'm trying to track on. So this is definitely a learning experience for me today. But yes, it's like the worst is moving out Let's zoom in, computer. And now the worst of it is really just pushing into Hillsborough County. Valrico had just started. Yeah, it's about to get really messy in Valrico. Who said that? Maria. It is. Let's see. It's almost there to the Valrico area. But you can really see here, I don't know if you can tell, look at Land O'Lakes, look all the way down to Carrollwood. Do you kind of see how that's bowing out just a little bit? Let's see if I can move this. I'm trying to draw it here. No, I can't draw it. There we go. See how it's kind of bowing out? That's a really good indicator of some strong straight line winds moving through. So Carrollwood, it was right on top of you, but this is about to move into. Yeah, pretty much North Tampa, the Florida State Fairgrounds, Orient Park, Branchton. You're about to get, if you even look outside, you'll see those winds really start to whip up. And we can see wind gusts today. If these storms become severe, that's indication that we could possibly see wind gusts 60 miles per hour or higher than that. And that can do some damage, especially, let's say you have some loose items outside. That can whip up some of those items. That can move into a car, or that can push into a window. So that's why we always say before these severe weather events, make sure that you secure all those loose items outside. Bring your cars inside. If you have a garage, I know I don't have a garage, but if you do, bring it inside if you can, because we are seeing hail with this particular storm system today, this particular line moving through, and of course that could cause some damage. Is there a tornado close by? Sky is black near Largo. We don't have a tornado warned storm right now, Dina, but these storms, yeah, the clouds, I mean, we had a really good shelf cloud visual from our Clearwater Beach camera a little earlier before those storms made it on shore. So it's going to get really dark. It's not necessarily an indicator that a tornado is moving through or that we have a tornado on the ground per se, but that just really shows the intense storms moving through. Straight line winds really is going to be the main threat today with these storms. So nothing tornado warned at this time, Dana, but just make sure that you're in your safe space if you are in the Largo area. So I'm just going to move it over here so I can zoom in and show you what we're looking at. You can see that line just moving right on top of you, Dana. Sally said it is thundering in Largo right now and it's raining. Yes, it is. It's about to get extremely messy there, or actually it already is. And this particular line here is going to move throughout much of central Pinellas County. So that includes Pinellas Park. If you live in Pinellas Park, that's going to be right on top of you in no time. We're here right on the Gandy, so we're going to start to really hear that rain pound on our ceiling pretty soon once this approaches us. It usually throws people off in the newsroom like, oh, it's raining. Even though we've been tracking this all morning. It's like, oh, there's the storms. They're here right now. The High Point area, definitely about to get in on some really heavy rain. Patty said, please be careful. Yeah, you know, you got to be careful. And you're welcome, Dina. That's I hope I'm saying your name right, Dina. That's what I'm here for, answering all your questions. We're about to get real hyper local here. So if you have any questions, let me know. And we'll keep you covered. Yeah, this is just some really heavy rain. Let's look at rain rates. Let's see what that looks like, if we've gotten any. They're just moving through. Okay. Rainfall estimates, we don't have any right now. Within the next 30 minutes or so, we can really look at that. But that rain is coming down, so it'll be really interesting to see how much rain we really get. Velocity, looking at this, nothing concerning. What we like to look for on our velocity product, especially in regards to looking for tornadoes, looking for spin-ups, we need to see that red and that green, those two bright reds and greens close together. That's that gate-to-gate shear that we're looking for. Those greens are showing rain that is blowing towards the radar. The reds show rain blowing away from the radar. And that's a good indication that we could have some rotating winds within the storm, and that could be transported down to the surface. At this point, we're really just seeing those bright pops of green, none of those reds and greens together, which is better than that, but it's those bright pops do indicate some really strong wind gusts moving through. So although these storms are not necessarily warned, they haven't reached that severe criteria as of yet. Really gusty winds moving out of the Largo area, moving into the High Point area at this time, even offshore. Look at that, the Reddington Shores area, Indian Rocks Beach. Those really bright greens that you're seeing here, I'm gonna try to move my mouse. Those really bright greens, that does indicate stronger winds offshore. We're not seeing anything rotating in the atmosphere, which is great, but these storms are packing a punch, and we can see that on our velocity product here. You can even see that on a reflectivity product. Really intense rainfall. That's not a nice drive from Safety Harbor all the way down to Indian Rocks Beach. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more, Reddington Shores even too. So that most of the Pinellas County coast. It's starting to rain a little lighter in St. Pete Beach, Boca Ciega area, northern St. Pete Beach, but then within the next 30 minutes, it's going to make it to St. Pete as well, and make it to Tierra Verde. And now these storms are finally starting to fill into northern Tampa. So if you're in Carrollwood, let me know what you're hearing. You're probably hearing it get really loud there. Hi, Angel. How long will this last? Sorry, messaged me twice there. I didn't get to show you. So this line is moving through. I'm actually going to go to our Futurecast. And let me tell you something about this Futurecast, this particular model here. It has not done a great job with intensity. It has not done a great job with the timing of these showers and storms moving through, which is why we really try to take these models here with a grain of salt. But this does kind of show you an estimate of when the storm is going to move through. This is not going to be an all-day situation. In fact, some of the nature coast is already clearing up, and we love to see it. But if you look at the Futurecast here, this is 9:30. We were seeing storms on shore much earlier than that. Moving along here, let's go back to 1 o'clock. You can see how that doesn't even show a defined line. What we're seeing right now is not being reflected on the Futurecast, but I'm just using this as a kind of indicator of what we could see timing-wise today. You can see 1 o'clock, still storms present, moving through the immediate Tampa Bay area, and then moving into Polk County. They look to linger around at least through 5 o'clock. This is still showing more scattered rain, but since we've seen this really defined line moving through this morning, the line will start to weaken a bit as it moves south. So Highlands County, Hardy de Soto, Sarasota County, you can still see storms and lingering rain, at least by commute time, 5 o'clock, even through 6. But I think that line really starts to move further south, and we'll be out of here by around 6 to 7 o'clock. We can get some lighter showers behind this initial line, but the severe threat will be over by the time by 5 and 6. That's what it looks like right now. That's what really the radar here is showing us, a more defined line than what this Futurecast is showing us here. Is it bad in Clearwater? It is right now, but give it about 30 minutes to an hour, we're going to start to see some improvements. Zephyr Hills, what are we looking at? The main line is moving out of Zephyr Hills. Let's go back to our radar product. Lots of loud rain and thunder here in Wesley Chapel. Oh yeah, pouring, windy, thundering in Dunedin. Diane said her daughter's moving to Florida. Well, she picked a good place, but if she doesn't know anything about Florida, she needs to know that it's beautiful some days, and then the next day it could be just as dicey. These last couple of weeks, a few weeks really, our late winter into spring has been active. So we've had some really nice weather, especially after the storms roll through, but it can get messy really quickly here. And that's really what we're seeing today. I'm going to go back to Zephyr Hills so you can see. I'm going to answer. You didn't ask me that question. Crystal, I'm going to answer your question really quickly. This is what we're looking at now. It's starting to improve a little bit. Still some really heavy storms over Pasco. All right, so this is moving into Zephyr Hills. Moving out of the Land O'Lakes area. So Land O'Lakes is improving, but still that drive along I-75, oh, that is not good. Zephyr Hills, if you're in Zephyr Hills right now, Crystal, you should be hearing that wind whip up, and then that rain is going to get really intense very quickly. So if you're along Let's zoom in. Get really close in here. So if you are along Highway 39, heading into Pasadena Shores, even up to Dade City, the Kumquat Festival, we go up there to sponsor that. Just really intense rain right now, torrential rainfall, really. In Zephyr Hills, it's about to get extremely intense over there. Crystal Springs, you're about to see the rain. If you're in the Branchton area, it's probably really intense right now. Just seeing those yellows right over Branchton. But once those reds start to move in, that's that really torrential rainfall moving through. Let's see. Still out in Largo. Largo is the same strong winds and pouring, yeah. North Tampa, dark, windy, rain, lots of lightning, I'm sure, Aaron. Dana says he's supposed to go out to dinner. I'm a weather wimp. And that's okay. Dinner should be fine. Dinner time, especially, so you're in Largo, yeah, dinner should be fine. Depending on when you go to dinner, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock probably. The winds will still be a little bit on the breezier side. They'll be shifting from the northwest at that time, and that's that cooler and drier wind that's going to be ushering in that big change for us. We're going to feel the difference in the air. It's going to feel way more refreshing as we head into Friday, but we're going to see that shift start to happen later on this evening as the cold front moves through and those winds start to shift out of a different direction. Let's see, friends, if you have any more questions, let me know. We are here for you. I'm gonna reset here, drink some water, because I've been chatting for a while. Love it. Good cold water, nothing like it, especially when you've been yapping for like 30 minutes. I don't know how long I've been on here. We're even seeing some isolated cells ahead of this main line of storms in Highlands County. Nothing severe down there, but let's see, let's zoom on in. Just right outside of our viewing area, the Lake Okeechobee area, is getting some of those isolated storms that we kind of see ahead of these storms. I wouldn't necessarily call them discrete cells. So they don't really have a severe potential there, no spin-ups. But just along 70, not a lot of people live out there. But they're definitely seeing some rain at this time. Diane, what's the temp there? Oh, in Clearwater. Let's look at temperatures, why don't we?